Are you looking for a quick and easy way to create visualizations like this with your music right here on your iPhone or your iPad? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use the Wizibel app from Klevgrand right here in iOS to create videos and release your music. So let's go. Hi, my name is Pete and welcome to Studio Live today, where my goal here is to help you create, record and release your best music. So if that's the kind of thing you're into, consider subscribing. Today, we are talking all about releasing, because gone are the days where you can just release your song as an audio file and people will download the MP3 or they'll listen to it or, heaven forbid, buy a CD. Nowadays, people want videos and they want more interactive videos. So I'm going to show you a very cool app from Klevgrand called Wizibel, which can visualize your music. So let's jump in and take a look right now. So before we jump in and I give you a complete demonstration, because I will be creating a whole music video from one of my songs here using Wizibel, let's take a quick look here at the App Store. So you can see firstly, it's actually spelled W-I-Z-I-B-E-L. You could pronounce it Wizibel, but Wizibel is what it's usually known by. And what it does is it can create a high resolution video file with visualizations, with other images and text, and sync that up to your actual track. So if you've got a song that you've produced in GarageBand or any other platform, even on your PC or your Mac, you can pull it here into your iPad or your iPhone. You can add in some of these cool visualizations that you can see here, and then you can export that as a video file, which is what we're going to show you in a moment. Now, the app itself does cost $10 US, and it will vary depending where you are in the world, but it's a one-off purchase, and this is why I like apps like this, because I'm not a fan of subscription models. So you buy the app once, you get the updates, you can use it forever. So let's now jump in and I'll show you exactly how this works and how we can actually create our own video file from an audio file here using Wizibel. So I've opened up the app here and here we are. This is what you'll be greeted with. You'll be greeted with a demonstration version here that Klevgrand have put together. And a big thanks to Klevgrand, they provided me this copy for review purposes right here as well. So full disclosure up front on that one. So what we can actually do is if we just hit the big play button here, we can take a look at the demo that Klevgrand have included. Let's play now. So very cool. Right out of the box there, you can see that there's a bunch of stuff going on here, and there's all of these different options that we have that we can actually control and change to actually give ourselves some different visualization. But instead of going through and showing you all the different themes that we have here, what I'm going to do is actually create my own and then take you through the different themes so that you can show you how, I'll show you how we can make a brand new video from scratch. Now, to import a song into Wizibel, I've actually left the app because it actually allows us to send from any other application. Anything that can use the export or the send to function, we can send the file. So let's jump in here to my files app here. I'm going to go to iCloud Drive and let's go to my music folder here. And I'm going to find one of my older songs here. Let's grab my song Bully, because I've got all of the album art and everything here for this one. I'm going to tap on Bully Master here and this will bring up the track. And what I can do now is actually tap in the top right here and I can send this over to Wizibel. So what I can do is slide along the top here and wait until I find the right app. There it is. Tap on copy to Wizibel and it will open up the app. And now instead of using that, it's actually pasted in my song. So it's left all the other settings the same, but it's now got my song Bully in here. If I hit play, that it's going to play my song instead of the original song that was in there. So what I can now do is dive in and start playing with the different themes and customizing to my heart's content. So let's do that now. So Wizibel is based around some themes that we have here. So if we tap in the bottom left corner, we can actually go in and we can select from one of these themes. And we have 12 in total that we can choose from. We've got our Horizon, our Cover 1, Cover 2, Snow, good, that word, The Ring, we've got Electro Flare, we've got Slideshow Light, we've got Bulger, we've got Manic Cake Slicer, Kaleidoscope, and Breaking News. So they're all the different ones. Now, I'm not going to go through each individual one in detail here, but let's just scroll through a few and take a look. So cover 1, if we tap on that one, this is going to bring up our cover with our cool little things on the side here. So if we hit play, we can see our visualizations on the side and our cover in the middle. So let's hit play. And that's looking cool. So what we can do now, what I'll do is I'll use this to show you how we can bring in our own images and artwork to this. So the album image, you can see there at the top, we've got the album image. So if I tap on that one, it's going to bring up a selector, and now I can actually select what I want to bring in here. Now I've got a small problem here because I haven't brought my album into my photos. I've got it over in files. So I'm going to jump across and convert that over, and then we'll come back and do this. All right, over here in files, I just need to select on this one. I need to tap share, and then I'm going to save image, and that's going to pop it straight into my album, into my photo camera roll. So if I double tap, and we'll come back over here to Wizibel. Now when I tap on the cover, I can have it right there. So let's just go to recently added, and we'll tap on Bully, which is my cover. And now I've got my own album artwork in here. Let's hit play and see how this looks now. So it's looking okay, yeah, but there's a problem, right? You've got your white visualizations on this white gray background. So we can change a couple of things there. Let's say we want to change the background color. We'll tap on the background color option here in the top right. We'll tap on that one. And we all know that I like red because it goes faster. So let's dial in, just use a normal sort of color selector. We can dial in a red, or let's go with that sort of red. And you can see here, it's got a bit of a sort of transparency. You've got background image transparency. So we can dial that so we can get a little bit more red in there. So what does this look like with the background being red and with our album cover there now? Not bad, pretty striking, but let's say we just revert this back to a black background, and there you go. Because we've got that monochrome in the album cover, let's take a look and a listen. That's pretty cool, and that's probably a sort of option that I may even go for with this track because it's looking great there. Now we've got a bunch of other options in here that we can actually play with. We can change the image size here, we can change the line mode of our visualization there, and we can smooth out the wave. We'll show you those in another one, but let's jump in and take a look at a different theme now. We'll tap on theme here, and we're going to go to cover 2, because what we've got here is we've got the cover here. We've also got some text on this one, so I wanted to show you this one, and we've got a visualization down the bottom. So if we hit play on this now, you can see that with this image, we've got the cover there, we've got text, and we've got that nice fiery visualization down the bottom. And once again, we can start changing a whole lot more on this one. So we've got the wave color here that we can actually dial into different colors. So if we wanted to customize that, we didn't want it to be that fiery color, we wanted it to be a little bit more random like that, we could actually change that up. We can change all of these colors and get a very different feel. We've got shadows on here that we can increase of our cover that's on there. And we've got a bunch of stuff that we can do with the text. So if we come down to the bottom here, we can actually change the text that we have in there. So if I wanted to put in here Bully, name of the song, then it will change it to that. And obviously I haven't changed my cover or added back in my image here because it's gone back to the default. So let's hit theme again. As I said, we won't go through all of these, but another one that I think is really cool is the Electro Flare. And I want to show you this one. So let's tap on Electro Flare and let's hit play on this one and take a look at the default settings. Very cool, and you can change all of these to actually zoom it in and zoom it out and move things around here and change the probe. So let's just hit play and have a little bit of a quick play, shall we? When you feel like you're right at the end of your tether, when the weight of the world starts to get you down. So you can change all of that up. You can again adjust your text, and the interface here is quite simple, and it takes a little bit of getting used to actually scroll down here because you can't tap on the screen and move anything around. It's not a WYSIWYG or a what you see is what you get style editor. You've got to dial in your parameters down the bottom here. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, but you know what? Again, for a $10 app that does all of these things and can really make your music pop, I think it's well worth all of the clunkiness that you might have in your interface at times. And again, it's not a bad thing. It's just, again, you might be used to tapping things and moving with your finger. Let's go and take a look at themes again. The snow one's pretty classic. Let's tap on that one. That just gives us this nice snowy landscape. Let's take a look and a listen. Jumping up. And the good thing about this is, if you look at all these themes, there's different types of themes that are going to work well for different types of music, yeah? So if you've got like an electronic music or you've got some beats, you're going to be able to use some of those more intense, like the Electro Flare and all this cool stuff. If you've got something a bit more laid back and mellow, you might want a nice snowstorm. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these because I want to keep this video to the point and succinct, but the one that I used for my recent song and what I'm going to use for this one and show you is the breaking news. And the reason that I like this, I'm going to tap on it, is it combines some of the elements that I wanted here. So we've got room for text, we've got room for a picture, and we've got a visualization as well. So let's hit play on this one.
Man, you don't want to show emotion.
So we can actually have all of these components and elements together. So this is what I'm going to use to actually do a full demonstration of how we can create our own music video for my song Bully. So let's do that now. So let's jump in and get creative. First of all, we're going to choose our background image. So in the top left, I'm going to tap background image and we'll go to my recently added. I'm just going to use this one here. It was my recent trip to Melbourne. We can scale it in here so we can zoom in and out. And once we're ready, we hit the big, in fact, let's just zoom it in so we get rid of that little screenshot item there. And then we'll hit the big tick button there. So that's going to bring that image in. That's now my background image. And anything that I want to do related to that is going to be here. I can blur the image. So we can dial up the blur, and I'll probably do that a little bit. So just give it like a little bit of blur. It can just help make your text and your front images pop if you've got a little bit of blur. So we'll pop that in there, and we've got our transparency. So we can make it either complete or we can make it more transparent. So we'll leave that dialed up around about there. We can now add in our foreground image. So we're going to tap on the foreground image down the bottom here, and let's go to recently added again. We'll tap on Bully, and there we go. We've now got our album cover here, and we've got our nice background that we've customized and we've put in there. Now, what I want to do is in my recent one, what I did is I changed around. I put the album cover on the left and the waveform on the right. So I'm going to do that again here. So I'll show you how we do that. We've got our foreground image X here, which is like an XY slider. So while we can't tap and move directly on the screen, we can grab our sliders and you'll see there in real time, it'll move that over. So I'm going to move that over there to put it up the top. And I'm also going to move it down to center it around about there. Yes, it's covering up other things, but we can fix that in a moment. And we'll, in fact, why don't we make the image size just a little bigger, dial it in there. You can adjust it to your heart's content. So I'm happy with that for the time being. We'll leave it there for now. We can then come down here, and what I'm going to do is let's change up this text, shall we? So I'm happy with white as the color, but I'm going to come down here to text. We don't want breaking news. We want the name of, say, a web link that I want to put in here. This is what I did in my last one. So let's just say you could go to Pete John. We'll take the capital off. So we just want petejohns.com. Hit done. All right, so we've got that there. We can now come, and this is where, as I said before, it's not a bad thing, but it's just a little bit challenging to work out where everything is. So now we've got to grab the text offset, and we can slide this across to here, and then we can grab the Y offset, slide it down to here, and we'll make the text size a little bigger. So we'll pump it up to there, put it about there. We can then change the font. So let's go with, say, this font here. That looks cool. That's the sort of font that I generally kind of use, and tap out of there. So now we're getting there, right? We're building out this particular visualization that we have. We don't want that second bit of text there, that photo by Alan Gilbury. Good job. Good photo, Alan. But we're going to tap in here. We're going to delete that text. And done, hit done. So that's gone. Now, where's our visualization? Well, it's hiding behind our album cover. So let's find our visualization. I've got to remember, here we are. Here's our wave X and Y. So let's drag our wave across to the Y, and then let's through the X, and let's drag down on the Y a little bit and position it around about there. I think that's going to look good there. Our wave width, we might want a little bit wider. I kind of like the idea of that being around about there and sitting just under there. And we can play around with this as we play along. So why don't I do that now? I'm going to hit play, and we'll just take a look at this, and I'll dial in some of these other wave settings just to make that waveform look the way I want it to.
Look it up, look away, don't make a sound. Hey princess, what's that in your eye? You're feeling numb and wonder why.
Okay, that's about right. So I don't want it to be going too far up, so I've adjusted the wave sensitivity. The other thing I might do is turn wave smoothing on. Let's take a look at that.
There is no crying in baseball.
Okay, I'm actually going to leave it off. I think it looks a little bit better with it off. And the waveline thickness, I think when I did my other one, I liked this a little bit thicker.
Something that you just gotta know. There is no cry.
Yeah, cool. I'm pretty happy with this. I think this is pretty cool. The only thing I might do is actually make this a little bit more transparent in the background there because it's kind of just washing out the text a little bit. So if we drop the transparency there and we hit play.
Open up, man, you don't want to show emotion. Suck it up.
That looked pretty good. And I think the only other thing is that our waveform's not quite centered there. So we're just going to come down to our wave X and move it a little across. There you go. I'm happy with that now. That's what I want to go with. So now we're going to export it. But before we do, I'm just going to show you some of the settings that we have here in Wizibel around exporting and also around some of the more general options that we have. So let's take a look at that and then we'll export this sucker. Okay, let's jump into the settings. So we've got a settings button down here in the middle. We're going to tap on that one here. And now we can actually change our video export quality. Now I recommend you change that to high. That's going to be a 1080p, a 1920 by 1080 file with some good quality audio. That's what you're going to want. You don't want to degrade the quality here just to save a little bit of space and a bit of time now. So do that there. You've got your default transitions here that we can actually change. We can turn the background zoom. So you can see there the image will zoom or not zoom on and off there. And then we can actually have that as a linear in, or out. So I'll leave it as in, out. That just does that sort of pattern where it goes in and out. If we tap out of there, you can see there as we scroll along, it does that in and out. So it creates that sort of motion, which can actually look kind of cool here when we're playing along. So go back to our settings again, tap here, and then we've got our fade in and fade out. So we can fade it in and fade it out. I generally don't with videos because if you're sharing on services like Instagram and Facebook, if you fade in or fade out, it often chooses that as the thumbnail. So your thumbnail ends up being like a black screen. So I would leave that off, but if you do fade in and out, you can fade in and out from your different colors as well. So that is all you need to touch with that setting. The other options we have down here, music. This just means that we can select from either iTunes, if you've got something in your iTunes library, or Audio Share Pace if you use Audio Share. As you saw before, we just sent it straight from a different app. So that's the way I'd recommend. It's the easiest way to share through to the app here. And then we've got Project, which is where we can actually save this project. So if we tap in the top left here, we can tap there and we can give this project a name, which we will do. Let's call it Bully, and hit save. So now we can return to this project at a later stage. If we want to create more projects, we can keep a record of the projects that we've made here, which is very cool. Final option, let's export now. Bottom right, we're going to tap on export, and here we go. It's going to render the movie. Now, I won't sit here while this does this because it does take a little bit of time. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes per video. And if you think about that, it makes sense because it's got to bring together all of those visual elements. It's got to do all the animations. It's got to bring all those elements together. Any transitions, all of that has to be written into the file. So yes, doing a high resolution file here is going to take a bit of time, but you know what? 15 minutes in the grand scheme of things, when you're going to release this and share it on YouTube, on Facebook, on anywhere, any of the other platforms that you want, it's not really a big deal. So just set it and forget it, which is what I'm going to do now. And we'll return once this has been rendered out and show you the finished product. Okay, we are back. It did take a little bit longer than it has in the past because I've used my iPhone XS to do some previous ones, and using the iPad Air 2 was a little bit slower. So probably about 25 minutes to render out the file. But again, to do all the things that we need here, that's not too bad. So all you missed me do was hit save to my photos, to my camera roll. So now if we go over to my camera roll over here, you can see that we have the file here ready to go. Let's hit play and take a listen. And there you go. It is looking and sounding really cool. We've managed to build this in very short amount of time using this app. If I had to build this myself with all the video editing, bringing in the visualization, doing the text editing, doing the graphics work, yeah, it would have taken me at least an hour plus to do that in something like LumaFusion. But with this app, I can get it all done for me. And then the time taken is really just that rendering process at the end. So there you go. A very cool app and a very cool way. As I mentioned, the link to where you can pick this up is down in the description there. It is a paid app, so it's $9.99 in the US. It'll vary in different parts of the world, but you know, I don't tell you to buy a lot of things. I'm very big on the whole you can create with what you have, and you definitely can. You could create this yourself if you wanted to spend the time, but if you want a quick way to buy one app one time and then be able to produce all of these really slick looking videos to promote and to share your music to your YouTubes, your Facebook, because now that we have this, we can share this out to everywhere in the world, and I think that's pretty pretty cool. So Wizibel, check it out. You can also check out this entire song. I'll link that down there and up there as well. So if you do want to check out my song Bully from last year, then you can check out the newly created video so you can have a really good look at what Wizibel can really do here on the iPad. So there you go. What a great, effective way to give your music the visual appeal that it so desperately deserves. Thanks again for watching. If you've got comments, questions, or suggestions about this, you can pop them down in the comments field. Subscribe to the channel by clicking or tapping on the Studio Live Today icon, and I'll see you on the next video.